Yo, what's up, guys? I just want to say happy Easter season to all you guys. I hope you're enjoying the time with family, giving thanks. Obviously, this is celebrating the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, and I want you to take the lesson of Jesus as like a market lesson. That theme of rebirth and resurrection in the markets. All of us, every single trader has at one point experienced market death. That's what I call it. That's where you blow your account, you feel completely demoralized. Maybe for some of you, you literally had nothing left because you had a gambling problem. And I just want to say that following the example of Jesus, you take the time you need to rest. Jesus took 3 days. For us, it takes longer. But you come back and you feel stronger than ever and eager to usher in the life and the world that you want, that you deserve. So take that lesson from Jesus Christ into your trading. And this is a restful period. In fact, this whole entire year is a restful year. A lot of us really put in a lot of work through 2024's election season. Election years are the greatest years to trade. And so today is kind of like a restful year, and the prices reflect that. Um, and so take this especially restful time of Easter to get your mental in order. I just busted out 100 squats today. And good job to you guys catching the Farcoin move in the Discord. I see you guys in here cranking. It's good to see the cogwheels turning, even when I'm not as active. But I guarantee you guys, if you get into that Discord, which link is in the description, you don't even need me. My henchmen are all over the VWAPs, and they're calling every move on all the best coins. So what happened on Farcoin was a really nice kind of delayed weekly leap down to that previous weekly VWAP. And look, guys, that is the level where it bounced off of. So Fibonacci's don't work. Volume profiles, everything, spider lines, nothing is as good as the VWAPs in my opinion, because that is the level where the volume's at. That's where the bounce happens. That's where you exit the short and you go long. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that was a real nice bottom on Fart. I kind of glanced at my phone and saw it. Didn't really pounce on it, even though, like I said, I was gonna. I just been really enjoying my rest, like the last week or so. Like I'm totally like out of it and need to get back into it. And that's because I took 2 losses right after taking 3 consecutive wins on the way up here, because we caught the bottom on Fart and Bitcoin, and then we caught 2 additional longs on the way up, and then I took 2 L's shorting a little bit too early. So I decided to take a little break from trading, and I'm glad I did. But look at this great move that bounced off the Fart coin weekly previous VWAP there. And in terms of like where I think Farcoin could go, I don't know if it'll get that previous daily VWAP pullback, but I honestly would not really be able to enter unless we either had a breakout retest of the weekly VWAP, guys, or we got that critical retest of the previous daily VWAP. So I would not enter any longs now unless it's a spot long-term hold on Fart. I would wait for breakout retest, or I would wait for the retest of the previous daily VWAP, or both those things, like a breakout and a dump down to that previous daily VWAP. And that's where I'm at with Fartcoin. Overall, pretty bullish on it. I believe this money flow is going to continue to pick up, and there might be a green dot on the daily. Look for the green dot on the daily on Fartcoin, guys. Looking at Bitcoin here, it really looks like Bitcoin is like not going to have that weekly VWAP correction down to the previous weekly VWAP, and it looks like there's a chance that this goes straight up to the year-to-date VWAP, guys. So, it's been tough. This is the coin that I was shorting. I like failed 2 shorts and took a break from trading. And so I'm a little apprehensive to short Bitcoin down to the previous week-to-date VWAP because it's showing a lot of strength. Although, now that I'm looking at like the 1 hour chart here, the money flow is pouring out. So this is a very like I'm not trading Bitcoin because it just seems very torn between are we going to get like a early year-to-date VWAP retest testing that previous quarter's VWAP at the turn of Q2, or are we going to get this like more medium-term, much-needed correction down to that previous weekly VWAP before bouncing up to the year-to-date? Not really sure, guys, but if we lose the week-to-date VWAP, use the week-to-date as your barometer. Closes over the week-to-date imply that we're moving to the year-to-date. Closes below it imply that maybe we're coming down for the retest of this Q2 VWAP and previous week to date VWAP level on Bitcoin. SWI, here's some levels to look at on SWI. It's all color coded on the right here. You got your year to date down there at 2.06. Previous week to date, if we do get a weekly leapfrog, looks like we actually did get, dang, look at this weekly leapfrog. Holy crap. So SWI, new week opened up, and we did, in fact, move straight down there. Ethereum also had this move, which I really liked, and it looks like a long that I laid out there is playing out pretty good. But look at that nice weekly bearish leapfrog on Ethereum. So SWI and Ethereum had early weekly leapfrogs that I should have pounced on. Instead, I shorted Bitcoin and got burned. So sometimes that happens. But currently, Ethereum here is at resistance. Q2 VWAP resistance. Really got to get a breakout retest of the Q2 VWAP to assume any kind of continuation to the upside. And SWI, again, battling that kind of net of VWAPs between 2.06 and 2.2. Solana actually rallying back here very nicely, guys. Look at the conjunction. Since Solana had an early yearly VWAP correction and even deviated below that previous year's VWAP, very, very oversold. So it makes sense that Solana is kind of bouncing back and trying to reclaim or at least retest this net of VWAPs up here as resistance here. 157, 165, nice level to watch on Solana. It might even go overboard as well. And I have a kind of sneaky suspicion that Bitcoin and Solana are going to pump. That's going to create hype. There's going to be some altcoins that are winning. But then the mass extraction is going to start happening again. We're probably going to get Kanye coin and all this bullshit. And long story short, it's just going to be a lower high. And we dump lower from there because of the overall bearish monthly situation and the overall macroeconomic situation. So hoping for some altcoin hype. I'm actually more friendly to altcoins this year than I was last year. Last year from January 1, I was a Bitcoin guy. I was saying a drop of truth is worth more than a sea of lies. In my portfolio, which I had a portfolio at the time, was majority Bitcoin and stable coins. And so like my read on Bitcoin versus altcoins was pretty on point, thanks to Market Cypher, but also like thanks to people like Ben Cowan kind of just laying the truth out there for everybody if you were willing to listen. The Bitcoin dominance was continuing to rise, and just like it was foolish to doubt it. But this year, it's like you look at Bitcoin dominance and like how much higher can it go, you know? Let me pull it up real quick. BTC.D, check that BTC dominance. I got a theory that this could potentially go to like 69. That's a funny psychological level, 69%. But let's see, is there any sign of divergence or weakness? Honestly, no, not yet. So I got a feeling dominance may continue to rise, especially as Bitcoin comes up and tests that previous quarterly VWAP. But then maybe at around 69% or something like that, altcoins have a bit of a chance to come back. And this year is actually more of an altcoin year because now everybody's pro Bitcoin. Everybody says altcoins are cooked. Maybe it's time for alt sometime this year, at least. Maybe this winter, this Christmas season is an altcoin season, not necessarily a Bitcoin season, but we'll have to see about that. So XRP, this is the last one. Not getting the year-to-date correction down to $1.30 that we've been kind of hoping for a while. Kind of holding. Didn't even get that weekly VWAP retest, so it's kind of strong in that strong position, not wanting to go down, kind of like Bitcoin. So XRP is in a class with Bitcoin and Solana, whereas SWI and Ethereum are kind of more eager to correct, and that they correct easier down to their previous weekly VWAPs in this uptrend that we've started here. So XRP seemingly overperforming, still in a bit of a 5-day downtrend, needing to overcome that. You know, if Bitcoin corrects, like XRP is going to correct too. That would be a late correction on XRP and Bitcoin. But ultimately, you guys got to see the big picture here. A new quarter opened up on April 1st, and it does seem like we're over this quarterly VWAP, that red line there. And so for now, we're on the way up to the previous quarterly VWAP the year to date. So as long as we hold the Q2 VWAP at $2 psychological resistance, XRP is actually in a pretty good state here. So that's pretty much it for the cryptos. I could take a quick look at the stock market here. Get rid of my markings, and you know, it kind of seems a lot like the Salana chart, guys. When I look at the S&P 500 deviating far below 2 years of yearly VWAPs, and so don't underestimate the pull of these two purple lines here, the ability for that to pull the market up in the medium term. And there's a couple stocks like Nvidia got hit real bad with like some bad Trump policy, like Trump was putting tariffs on things in China that directly affected Nvidia. And this is a really good asset long term to hold, guys. They're a leading AI. It's leading AI. They got all the best technology in there. The clear winner, the golden child of the entire stock market. And look at that correction, guys, a 43.33% correction. And so, like at any time, if you buy from this point, I think long term, you're sitting pretty, honestly. Just depends on how risk on you want to be, waiting for this to continue to correct into the end of the year and stuff like that. Definitely likely with that down sloped year to date bearing down on the price. But long term, it's like we're already at pretty good value on a lot of cryptos and a lot of stocks. And I'll just touch on Nvidia in this video, but there's a lot of, you know, drop in the comments if there's any stocks that you're looking at. Maybe gold stocks. Like I've been kind of into gold lately, so maybe some gold stocks are doing good too. One crypto that I just want to take a quick peek at real quick is Tron. We pay our employees in Tron Tether. It's like one of our favorite, most used blockchains. China blockchain just started a daily Heiken Ashi uptrend here. So if Tron can hold its year-to-date VWAP, that is nice and sideways there. It is a kind of horizontal volume-weighted level that we really could gain some traction on. So this could be a bounce level for Tron. Just be mindful of like a larger Bitcoin and XRP correction kind of bringing this down. But Tron's actually like looking pretty strong, man. Look at that weekly trigger wave on Tron there. So I'm going to keep looking at Tron. And these are all the coins that I'm looking at, guys. So that's it for the video. Smash the likes if you like it. Enjoy your Easter holiday. And love you guys. Subscribe. Follow my Twitter. Check the link in the description if you want to get the Leapfrog volume weighted levels and join my private Discord. So thank you guys. God bless.